Welcome to One Sharp Sword, cutting through to what matters most. I'm your host, Dr. Wayne Pernell, Dr. P, the Exponential Success Coach. Today, we're going to talk about what happens when you work from home. There continues to be, I was on radio and television this past week, and there continues to be the dialogue, the conversation about what's happening with the pandemic as the rules change once again, as we focus on, are we getting back to normal? All of that is becoming part of a bigger conversation. And it leaves us with, well, what is normal? What's normal? Are we going to have normal? Is it going to be okay? What's going to shake out? Like all of those things come into play. And so the big question is, how much are you giving of yourself, and how are you going to make it work for you? And how do you stay healthy and productive? And that's really where I wanted to go with this today, is how do you stay healthy and productive as the rules change, as the conversation changes? And what's out there is, this is the nature of the conversation, is what's the new normal? And some states are allowing us not to mask, but some counties in those states mandate masking. And so a few things, and this is really about a few things. How do you continue to be healthy and productive? How do you get boundaries around what you need? How do you establish your own normal? So let's go into those. The conversation out there is, well, the rules have changed. We're relaxed. It's time to go back to work, maybe in the office, maybe not in the office. Most people are doing hybrid, sometimes in the office, sometimes not. How do we deal with new normal? And my comment for the past 2 years really has been, and continues to be, you establish normal. You establish it. The rules are what we get to do or not do. It's like there are speed limits. We abide by the speed limits. How you approach that mentally is up to you. And so that's where I'm saying, you provide the new normal. You get to say, well, if the speed limit's 65, I'm going to be celebrating that because it was 55 the last 10 miles. Or you get to go, the speed limit's 65. I'm not paying attention to that. I'm going 80. So, everybody needs to get out of my way. Or you go, hey, the posted speed limit's 65, but it's near whiteout conditions with the snow. I'm not doing 65. I'm doing about 40, and I'm staying in a lane that's going to be safer for me, or not at all, right? If it's whiteout conditions, obviously. So you establish your approach to the world in a way that makes sense to you. Resilience is a thing. Courage is a thing, and choice is a thing. And those three things will be your foundation for moving forward. So how do we deal with the new normal? You deal with creating your new normal. What's your norm? What do you want it to feel like? What do you want it to be like? And all of that is really important. I'm trying to, if you're watching me move around here, I'm trying to move things off of my desktop, so I've got a clear line of sight to this view, and also my notes. Let's talk about how to be productive then. If you're at a point where you are saying, okay, I can claim my new normal. I did the pivot. I am working from home, but I'm giving too much of myself at home. I'm giving too much of myself to the office, and I don't have I'm engaging in revenge, bedtime procrastination, and all that stuff, right? So I wrote an article on that. If you wanted to look it up, Google my name with the words revenge, bedtime procrastination. You'll see that came out almost a year ago. We were talking about that. And let me just bring that to you. revenge bedtime procrastination is a thing. People are putting off going to bed because they log in early to the office, they check email. And if this is you, you've got to pay attention to this. Are you checking email at like 6 a.m. and just to see what's going to be on your schedule and checking your calendar, and you're just going to log in and clear a few things up. So you're actually at work at 6 a.m. or earlier. And then it's like dinner time comes, and before you close down the house, it's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. You're going to just check email so that, you don't have a ton of email left when you log in the morning. If that's you, you're draining yourself. And often what happens is when people just do that last check-in, or it's 9 o'clock at night or whatever, and it's like, now I want time for me. And they put off going to bed so that they have me time. And you stay up until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then you're up again early, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And you haven't gotten 8 hours of sleep. You've actually ended up punishing yourself by punishing your body. You're not feeding yourself. You're not doing well in fueling yourself, I should say. You're not doing well in... you won't be productive if you put off sleeping. So you've got to get back to you. And that is really what this is about. Coming back to you, being healthy and productive, establishing, what's the new reality, the new norm. It's whatever you make it. And this is, again, this message is totally about you being in charge of you. You've got to be able to quarantine work. It happens during these hours. Quarantine. I have 2 phones, right? So quarantine how often you are checking your email or on calls or whatever. When are you going to check? All day long or a couple of times during the day, right? That's blocks of time on a calendar, right? Can you say, this is my block of time to check email. This is my block of time to respond. This is my block of time to check email. This is my block of time to respond. So that it's not, all day and every day feels like a panic. Like every time an email comes through, most of us were trained, better respond right away. It's an email. You better respond right away. I don't know about you, but I get close to probably 400 emails a day. 400. Now, some of you are like, that's a third of what I get. And that's not a badge of honor to get 1,200 emails, nor is getting 400 emails a badge of honor. A lot of it is crap. A lot of it is sales stuff. A lot of it is batch deleted. That said, it takes time and energy to go through and clear it out. So even if you're getting 60 a day, even if you're getting 12 a day, if when they come through, you have the response to yourself of, I better take care of this, you are probably draining yourself in other areas of your life as well. If it feels like a fire alarm that you have to respond to, unless you are in the healthcare services or emergency services of some sort, it's literally probably not life or death. So, can you quarantine it? Will you quarantine it? Quarantine your work time. When are you really going to start? And when are you really going to end? For me, I do like to check my calendar at the end of the day because I like to set up what's going on tomorrow. So I will look at, what did I do today? What am I doing tomorrow? What does the day after tomorrow and the day after that look like? I'm looking ahead 3 days every evening so that I know what I can do if I need to shuffle things around. In fact, a meeting that I had set for this time slot got canceled. And I knew that I had made a commitment to myself to do a podcast. And so rather than wait until I had it on my calendar, I pulled it from a couple of days from now, and I'm doing it now. That is how to manage your calendar. If you know what's coming up a few days in advance and you get a blank space all of a sudden, that's a gift. Now, for me, I could have said, ooh, white space, I can read that book I've wanted to read. Or, ooh, white space, I can catch up on notes. Or, ooh, I could just go outside. Well, all of that is true. And I've done that in various times. And the reason I'm sharing that is I think it is a practice that you can do as well. You get to choose. Like if something falls off your calendar, you don't automatically have to fill it with something else. I chose to pull from a couple of days from now because I know that in a couple of days, I'm actually going to want more flexibility on those days. So it's a choice. And it comes back to what's your new normal? What's your choice? What are you putting into your day? This is about exponential success. You create exponential success by living into your values first. Start there, right? What do you value? Well, I value my time, my quiet time, my reading time, my exercise time, but I never get to it. It's like if you say that and you also say I never get to it, you don't really value it, right? You don't. It's a wish. It's not a value. So that's something to keep in mind as well. I really want you to be thinking about that. There are times when you'll want something, but you don't value it enough to actually clear your calendar for it, right? So think about it's one of the exercises I do in my Exponential Success Summit meetings when I gather accomplished leaders together. We'll look at a calendar, but before I look at the calendar, I'll say, "What do you value?" And they'll write down a list of values, and it's like, look at your calendar. Show me where those values show up on your calendar. So you've got to quarantine your work time because when you worked at the office, you worked at the office. And you'd leave your computer there. Now your computer's at home and you could check it anytime. So stop it, quarantine that work time, quarantine the time that you check email, make your bedtime a thing, like make book reading a thing, watching TV a thing, and set a time to go to bed so that you can refuel. Like all of that is so, so important. Again, this is about your power. This is about your choice. This is about your normal. It doesn't have to be the new normal. New normal is going to be different for everybody. What's your choice? What's your choice? What are you going to call normal? And normal for you could be, well, I exercise at 11 o'clock at night, which is physiologically a bad idea because it causes body burn and could disrupt your sleep unless your intention is to stay up. So, but other people are like, well, I'm going to get up early and exercise. Awesome. Is that your new normal? I think, again, quarantine your work time. Be deliberate about where you put your energy, because a lot of my clients are like, well, I gave so much at the office. I have no more attention or energy to give at home. And so this is about boosting your presence, boost your productivity at home. I mean, at the office, boost your productivity at the office, boost your presence at home, and boost your impact in the community because you're ready to go, you're ready to contribute. So that could be your new normal. And I'm tossing a bunch of things out there for you this time. I want you to think about them. I'd love to know your thoughts about any of what I've said. All right. Boost your productivity by quarantining your work and your emails. Boost your presence at home or with partners or with family or with friends. Boost that presence because you've quarantined your work, and boost your impact in the community because you've been able to finely funnel where your vitality shows up. Bring all that together, make all that happen. As we come into the end of the first quarter of this new year, think about the impact that you really want for the rest of the year and how you're going to get it. Because if you are burning out now, it's only going to get worse. But if you are taking care of yourself now, it's only going to get better. And that's what you've got ahead of yourself. That is the path of exponential success. Focus on your values, live into your vision, bring that vitality. We'll talk more about that in the next few podcasts. Wishing you a super productive, present, and impactful rest of your day, rest of your month, rest of your quarter. We'll see you here again soon, next week. This is One Sharp Sword Cutting Through to What Matters Most. I am your host, Dr. P, Dr. Wayne Pernell, the Exponential Success Coach.